3 high school football players have died this month, including one in New Jersey from injuries sustained on the field.
The tragedies have many parents considering the dangers of playing sports. Steve Overmeyer is here now with more on this. Steve.
Yeah, and this is a story obviously we've talked about a number of times here in the past few years, but it's because the information is constantly changing. We always want to update our audience, and the recent attention on brain trauma caused by playing football, it's nothing new. But now it's really putting the focus on the parental knowledge of how to protect their kids from concussions.
It's the highlight of every weekend. Football. But parents are now forced to weigh the risks of concussions.
Where's your level of concern?
I'm not so concerned.
Definitely concerned on permanent injury for my son, from playing a sport even at his age can damage him for the rest of his life.
According to the National Trainers Association, head trauma accounts for 58% of emergency room visits for athletes from 8 to 13 years of age.
As a parent, my first concern is the safety of my child and the well-being, and if that's going to cause damage, especially brain damage, then I would definitely reconsider.
Over the past 5 years, concussion education has increased. In that same span, Pop Warner participation nationwide is down about 10%. Nationwide high school football participation has increased by 1%, but it's on the decline in New Jersey by 1%, and in New York by 10%. Every organized football league in America is required to educate coaches, players, and parents of the dangers.
He's very well aware. He knows, if he's any head injury, if he's dizzy, if he's throwing up, any of those things, we know it might be a sign of a concussion to immediately seek medical attention.
The community is a lot more aware of concussions. I think that we're probably a lot better in diagnosing it, but I think the follow-through is lacking.
Orthopedic surgeon Dr. Sean Lauger founded clearedtoplay.org 5 years ago.
What we're talking about is a traumatic brain injury. Would people take it more seriously if it weren't called a bell ringer or a stinger?
Perhaps, but if you have a concussion and your symptoms have not abated and you return to play too soon and you have second impact syndrome from another hit and you die, there's nothing anyone can do to help you.
Concussion identification technology has improved dramatically, and with the emphasis on safety, these changes could change minds.
By the time he's ready to play football, there may be better safeguards in place. Under the current circumstances, I would try to discourage him from doing that.
High schools in both New York and New Jersey have taken steps this year to prevent concussions. That includes reducing full pad practices and limiting helmet-to-helmet contact in those practices, because last year, Maurice and Christine, 57% of the concussions that occurred in high school football occurred during practice time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's a lot of discussion in households.
Yes.
Witnessed it. I've had them.
We're in the middle of them.
It's definitely something that we weren't talking about a few years ago.
Not at all. Tough call. You love the game, but
course.
you just don't want to get hurt like that.
Yeah, and as that last parent said, there's new information coming out, there are new protocols, there's new safety measures that are being added and implemented each and every year. Maybe next year it's going to be even better than what it is right now.
All right, Steve Overmeyer, thank you.
Sure.